I never thought that I'm gonna say it, but I like that Rogue is honest. It's an honest class that relies a lot less on cheap tricks like that. Would you believe that I would ever say that? Welcome back everyone, I'm Jaro. I'm very happy for you to join me here today for another video about World of Warcraft and Horrific Vision, specifically power checking different alts. We are taking a look once again at my Outlaw Rogue, who now has reached high enough rank with the cloak, rank 11, and to fully clear a Horrific Vision. This time it's time for an Outlaw Rogue. I know it's been a long time coming, and we had already a power check at a partial clear where I have shared my non-pro casual player who is trying to have fun opinions about rogues in general and outlaw spec kind of particularly, specifically. Now is the time for me to I'm showing to you a little bit of my gear here, a little bit of my talents. So cloak rank 11, 444, very easy to remember. Item level not super high. I have some characters that are of higher item level obviously, but in this particular case I think we'll do just fine. As strong as rogues are, and outlaw specifically is a swashbuckler who is in your face, satisfies my gameplay, my play style very much so. I don't have to be fully subtle, like that's not my really thing. That's why I never play rogues particularly. I like to be in your face and I like to be self-sustaining, which we will talk about in a second by the way. So I am refreshing Ghastly Goulash buff on me, the food buff, and I am going to be relying on that assisted self-sustain. Somebody has rightly so pointed out in comments to another video that I am going to very quickly address here in this video, that when I talked about Protection Warrior, I believe I pointed out that Protection Warrior doesn't have enough self-sustain for me to like Protection Warriors as a tank, as a person who even likes tanking as opposed to DPSing primarily. And they pointed out to me, well, Ignore Pain as one of the abilities of Protection Warriors, if you're not familiar with them, is self-sustain. Now, I am only addressing this about the fact that rogues also have limited self-sustain, and I'd like to just not shy away from saying, guys, we can get caught up a little bit, I think, in the terminology, in how we interpret terminology. So if you go ahead and start treating self-sustain as a term, as something that basically prevents or delays the death of your character, if that's self-sustained for you or how you understand this term, then perhaps some of my commentary, some of my comments for Protection Warrior in that video that the person commented on, and what I'm about to say about rogues, Outlaw Rogue specifically, wouldn't make much sense. Because to me, self-sustain is not just preventing my death and delaying it, basically delaying it. Because that's what warriors do. Warriors have one self-heal if we're not playing Fury, because Fury also has obviously this strike, that the name of which right now eludes me because I don't play Fury very much so. The one that leeches a little bit of health from the enemy every time they hit, and it provides a little bit of self-sustain as I see it, because the way I see self-sustain is basically self-healing. So I might be not on the money there with the terminology, so forgive me, I'm a casual, I'm not a native English speaker as well. With that out of the way, I'm gonna say that just as with Protection Warriors, rogues, or Outlaw Rogue specifically, has very limited self-sustain. They have an ability to heal themselves, like warriors heal themselves with Victory Rush ability that activates usually after you kill an enemy, so you can charge into another one and even have a talent that boosts healing from that ability, and you get a little bit of health back, you suck it back in. And rogues have, I believe the name of the spell is Crimson Vial or something like that. It's bound to my number 6 there on the action bar, and it's pretty decent. The talents also allow you to boost healing you receive from it. So the guidey part that I always weave into these kind of casual unscripted narratives and my impressions of how the classes are performing in the full clear, in this particular case of Stormwind, basically I believe that to be a confident soloer to solo it confidently by yourself, especially if you somehow want to go hardcore, or you're particularly, I don't know, really short on cash, on in-game cash, and you did not want to cook ghastly goulash, the food that self-sustains you, that contributes tremendously to that self-sustain in the horrific visions, then you will be relying on Crystal Vial a lot. In fact, I do not know if I even would have so relatively confidently, not at the top rank of the cloak, not with the top level of Mother's Archives talents, because I don't have Gift of the Titans, as you can see here. I don't know if I would have actually without Ghastly Goulash buff. I don't know if Crystal Vial by itself, even with talents boosting the healing that I received from it, I don't know if I would have made it. Maybe in Ogrima, that generally is easier, but possibly not in Stormwind. Yes, the starting areas, these ones, you can just pull the mobs a little bit more sparingly. You can use stealth more often than I do it. You can. But let's not forget that I'm playing Outlaw. Outlaw has stealth, should use stealth for skips when they can, but at the same time Outlaw is not designed to be stealthy. Outlaw is designed to be swashbuckler. Outlaw is designed to pop out in front of the boss and start slashing and hacking, and not trying to re-enter stealth, for example, as Subtlety would do. So I'm happy with that. I'm happy with the playstyle, but that naturally affects, I think, your exposure to enemies and affects on how much direct damage you need to be able to hit, basically standing and banging, as they say. Stand and bang, you know, in front of them. Again, like I said already, it satisfies my playstyle, but possibly is not the most rational way of doing it, which is why I'm relying on self-sustain from Ghastly Goulash, or self-heal, as I interpret self-sustain as a term, and I do recommend that you take the talent that boosts healing from the Crimson Vial if you intend to clear Horrific Visions solo. In this particular run, because I have Ghastly Goulash, and it is an important point, that's why we spent quite a bit of time talking about it, but because I have Ghastly Goulash buff, as you can see, I'm not even using Crimson Vial that often. I did just use it, I did, but not in too many cases, only when I get a little bit overwhelmed with the mobs, but here my health barely dips, as you can see, like on some generic mobs or on smaller pools. It's barely noticeable. Overall, what do I think about Outlaw? I already said to you in the power check, in the partial clear that I already published before, and I think it was Ogrima, it wasn't Stormwind. I already said to you that I do enjoy Outlaw. I enjoy how fast Outlaw feels moving through the shadows. Yes, I do like engaging or approaching enemy in stealth, but then I pop out and here I am hacking and slashing in your face. I do like the kind of rebooted, and I think, correct me if I'm wrong in the comments down below, especially if you played rogues for a while, I believe that we had combat rogues, right? We had combat spec always. But then that combat spec was tweaked into an outlaw spec when Blizzard made it a little bit more piratey, gave us the grappling hook and kind of added that Legion storyline, kind of artifact storyline that sort of gave us those swords that were pirate swords. I think they were even from one captain who you needed to kill. I cannot remember very vividly right now, but I do believe that that soft reboot that made Combat Rogue more thematically aligned to being a swashbuckler, to being a pirate, I think it happened in Legion. Correct me if I'm wrong. So what I'm trying to say is that, especially now that I kind of do not have to struggle for my life so much, and I can actually offer you a full clear and my impressions on the full clear of Stormwind in this case, I've gotten more chance to enjoy it properly. A little bit less, it feels a little bit less rushed, it feels a little bit more kind of as it should be, I suppose, or perhaps put simply, perhaps just closer to where my favorite classes that plow through the whole content are. To where my Death Knight is, to where my Demon Hunter is, to where my Hunter is, Survival Hunter. So I like the fact that, for example, Blizzard gave us, as Outlaws, gave us that pistol. So we cannot equip guns and there are no pistols in World of Warcraft, but the whole idea that we have this pistol, that you can just pull the pistol, oh, the damn chair is again making that damn sound, I'm sorry guys. But basically the fact that we have a pistol as well as the finisher that is a ranged finisher is actually fantastic, because in many cases, especially when the bosses, mobs, when they do an AoE, you will see me in this run, I think you will, especially closer to Mage District, where I need to stay away, and I stay away, I think even on Illyria, I think, pay attention, I think even on Illyria I'll do that, and I am basically for like 30 seconds, I'm just using the pistol to generate combo points and to spend them. Is it the most effective way to do damage as a rogue? No, probably not, and probably not by design. But it's a nice feeler. It gives you a feeling that you are a little bit more all-rounded, as opposed to like a classic rogue. You're supposed to always be in close proximity, preferably in stealth, preferably with daggers, preferably with poisons, preferably from behind. Like, that's too much preferably for me in one sentence. You know what I mean? I like that Outlaw is mischievous, a little bit more, you know, gangsterish, for the lack of a better word. And Outlaws are definitely heaps of fun. And in case you are one of my regulars, you know how I used to do these videos where I didn't run through the whole run. And this one, for a change, was not recorded, my commentary was not recorded at the time of running. I am actually commenting, trying to stay on topic a bit more than I normally am, after the fact. I recorded this, and now I'm watching this with you, the recording, and I'm commenting on this. So we still have about half of the run to go, about another 15 minutes. And I am not going to bore you with my ranting, because I think I've done a lot of that in the past few videos, and more videos are coming your way, my friends. And there will be both full length and part rants like this one. But I just basically want to wrap up here my narrative and offer the rest of the run with some music for you guys to watch and enjoy, and let me know in the comments down below if you did learn anything from this, perhaps watching how I engaged with the further bosses. We still have obviously the, I'm forgetting now, the trade district, I believe, of Stormwind remaining, and certainly the Mage district, which is always a little bit stressful with those aberrations everywhere, with the portals to close, with all that stuff. Once again, no Gift of the Titans, Cloak only rank 11, but it was enough to clear it fully. Illyria is always a pain for melee classes, and Rogue is not a different one. But kind of final couple of things to say before I leave you alone is that if you didn't notice at first in the beginning when I was showing to you just my talents, like my gear, all that kind of stuff, I did point out, I usually kind of swipe the mouse around so that those of you who would like to really see particulars of my setup, they can pause and take a look. You would have seen that I don't have any good corruption effects on this guy. And that, in the current state of the game, 8.3, that counts for a lot, as you know. I don't have Twilight Devastation, I don't have Infinite Stars, I don't have Gushing Wound, I don't have the Mind Flay, that flaying tentacle thing. I don't have any of those that would directly contribute to my damage, which is primarily what rogues are all about. We want to do the damage kind of stuff as much as possible. And good shot of Twilight Devastation right now on this group, for example, would have made this bit instantly, right? Would have just taken care of it. Boom, they're all dead. Instead of that, one thing to particularly point out is that with the rogue, you kind of locked into honest one-to-many battle. You have to chop everyone up. Part of that is fun. Part of that is fun for me. I actually like that rogue is like that. I like that rogue is, I never thought that I'm gonna say it, but I like that rogue is honest. It's an honest class that relies a lot less on cheap tricks like that. Would you believe that I would ever say that? Well, I do believe that. I do believe that Rogue in this case, in this particular setup, did not rely on cheap tricks like Twilight Devastation procs, like Infinite Stars, like any of that kind of stuff. So I think if nothing else, it's probably worth watching for that particular purpose and seeing how you might fare at your item level, if it's similar to mine, on a Rogue in a Horrific Vision of Stormwind, which is once again harder than Ogrimmar. If you can do Stormwind, you can do Ogrimmar. And yeah, so if you enjoyed that, please like the video, please subscribe, because this club is growing. It's been fantastic. We've been having a lot of fun. More videos are scheduled and are coming your way. We're reviewing different classes. As you can see, occasionally I publish guides for you guys. Really welcoming your feedback, really welcoming your requests of content. What are you interested in? What do you play? What particular aspect maybe of the runs of Horrific Vision specifically, as I kind of specialize in them these days? What interests you? Let me know. I would be more than happy to oblige, and more videos are coming to you every 2 days. Please subscribe and I will talk to you.
I don't really know what comes next. I'm just doing my best, even though I'm so stressed out. Everything just feels like a test that I fail, so depressed when I can't seem to get out. But something deep inside won't let me quit. I swear that I'm inspired by all this shit. Tell me that I can and I won't. That's what guides me the most. Your lies, I'll do what I want. I'm inspired by thirst, I'm inspired by worth. I desire your worst, so you can just hide while I work. I ain't tired, you first. I'll write a second, third verse about the lies you go disperse. You never did shit, I know it hurts. But something deep inside won't let me quit. I swear that I'm inspired by all this shit. Tell me that I can and I won't. That's what guides me the most. Your lies, I'll do what I want. Never break, always fight, never quit, do it right, play the game, win it life, have no shame, there's no time, feel the pain, live the grind, I could change, in my mind, pick a lane, commit and climb, the only way to win it life. I never miss, that's fact, taking big swings, put your hand to the bat, put me in the ring, you'll go out in a bag, cause I sing what I mean and I bring it to the mad light. Ain't got time to kill, I got time to feel, I took the red pill, I know life's short so I wanna live real, but how's it supposed to feel? How's it supposed to feel? How's it supposed to feel? They wanna say my name, but they holding back. They wanna say they hate, but they know it's cap. I ain't play no games, I just do that's fact. And I don't feel no shame, it's a mood you lack. I go crazy, nah, but I ain't lazy. Track after track, I work on this shit daily. Pass me the jack, right as fuel, got me hazy. About to unpack all these things I've been chasing. I've got visions in my head, like memories after death. To be a legend instead of something you can forget. I'm living up every breath, I'd rather lead than be led. I'll fill the seats as I spread with every word that I've said.